Okay, let's see the third feature of CYPECAD. Okay, so the third feature, it's one option that we have to check the fire resistance of steel elements, or actually we can check the different type of materials, but in this case especially we will talk a little bit about steel elements, because now we can add some protections to the elements, some intumescent paints according to catalogs from different manufacturers that are now available at CYPECAD. Okay, so there are different ways to protect the structure against the fire, and we'll use this new feature to do a little example to see how we can set these parameters at CYPECAD and then see some results. Okay, so I have here a little model that was developed here also at CYPECAD. It's integrated with BIMserver.center with an architectural model. It's a quite singular structure. Okay, the point is we have here a structural element, a steel structure, sorry. And if I deactivate the architecture itself or part of the architectural elements, you see that there are just some steel profiles like the beams and the columns, and some slabs that are in concrete. Okay, here at CYPECAD you can see this element. There are some elements that are not well designed yet. We should change some sections that are not verified yet, but it doesn't matter to this example. Okay, it's just to show you some steel elements here at CYPECAD. Okay, this kind of verification that we'll see now, it's also available at Cype 3D. Actually, some weeks ago we had a seminar specifically explain this same situation at Cype 3D, and now we have also this new feature at CYPECAD. Okay, so let's do one example. Okay, normally what we do here when we start the project, when we are setting the general data, selecting the codes that we have here, then we have the options to decide what kind of loads we'll introduce in our structure. Okay, so besides the mechanical loads, let's say the wind, the seismic, and the dead and live loads, we also have the fire resistance that could be checked. Okay, so when we check this button here we, according to these codes that were selected before, we can open this panel here where we can set the general data related to the fire resistance check of this structure. Okay, and here CYPECAD offers some options that are quite interesting. The first thing that we can see in this table, that are there is one line, okay, one row to each one of the levels of my structure. So in this structure I have level 1, a level 2, and a roof. And for the elements that are in these levels, then I can decide some parameters, some different parameters. Okay, for example, the first thing that I can decide here is the fire resistance, so the time that the structure should resist. Okay, so in this case I just decided here 60 minutes. It's just an example. Okay, here we can also define how it's gonna be the protection of the elements. Okay, both concrete, for example here in this columns and walls. Okay, and here that is the part that it's the main point of this new feature. There are the protections that we can add to the steel elements, both beam and columns. Okay, and then also if we have timber and cladding elements, we can also do the same situation, but I will center here in the steel elements because this is the structure of today. Okay, and the point is, for each one of these combination that are related to the level and the type of elements, we can set how we will protect this element. For example, here in my beams, okay, for the 3 levels, I could select here different types of covers: mineral fiber spray, plasterboard, calcium silicate fiber board, and there is one specific situation that is the intumescent paint. Okay, that we can also select here. The new feature that was implemented here in this version is that besides introducing a generic intumescent paint, we have this little button here to open the catalog of manufacturers that is available here at CYPECAD, and we can select one of these catalogs, one of these manufacturers, and download the information, the technical data from this intumescent paint in this case to CYPECAD, and then we can select these materials to then cover the structure and then check the fire resistance. Okay, so I've just downloaded here some of them. Okay, Hempel, International Paint, Sherwin-Williams, and when I finish this option, I will see here all of them, the Sherwin-Williams, the Hempel, and the International Paint, and according to the brand, I will see here the types of intumescent paint that are available. Okay, for each manufacturer, I have here different references, and once I select one that I want, I just accept, and to this combination of, in this table, according to the level and the type, I will protect the structural element with this intumescent paint. Okay, so just to see what's the difference between adding these intumescent paints in the structure, I decided to introduce this example here, this Fire Tex FX 6010, to all the beams of my project, but the columns I will leave it without fire protection coatings, just to see the difference between of them. It's just a simple example, okay? But of course, I had also other elements with concrete, or we could change it, personalize it, okay? The idea here is just to show you how to set these parameters, and then when we analyze the structure and see the results, we'll try to see the little difference between beams and columns in the fire resistance aspect. Okay, so actually this project, just to save time, I already analyzed it, so it's why I'm canceling every step that I'm changed here, just to maintain the analysis finalized. So let's jump here from the beam definition to the results, and when we are here in the results, we can open the same option again using this icon, the fire resistance. That is where we can open the group data. That is the same menu. If you want to change something after analyzing, we can come here, change something, and analyze again. Okay, so it's an easy way to access this option. Here we can also create new zones. So some specific zones, like we can define it, because maybe we can have a special place with a different resistance. We can also then assign a different material to this area. Okay, in this case I'm just creating a very simple example, but here you can do this kind of stuff. Okay, and as I said before, this structure is already analyzed, and here I can see some reports. Okay, one specific report that I can see here is the report with just those elements with errors and warnings regarding to fire resistance. Okay, so if I have problems with fire in this case, this report will show these examples. For example, I can see here that in the level 1, 2, and 3, in the steel elements, I will probably have have some problems here. So let's take a look. Here there are some general data according to the selections that I made. So here I can see that the Fire Text 6010 was included in the beams, but the columns are without fireproof coating. Okay, we selected 60 minutes to all the levels. Okay, and here the elements with errors and warnings, we can see here that those columns that are not protected, okay, the P1, P2, P3, that is the name and the reference of each one of the columns with this section, they not verify it for 60 minutes. Okay, so it was not enough this size for this time. Okay, and we'll see this same situation to the level 1, level 2, and here the level 3. Okay, so probably here we should come back and change this cover or find another solution to protect this structure against the fire. Okay, another report that could be very useful is the final report that we can print from here. Okay, the fire report, just the chapter related to the fire resistance check. Okay, just the fire resistance check. Here we can open this report, and it's a little bit more complete report. Here in this case we have 9 pages, and here we'll see not just the steel elements but also the other materials, in this case reinforced concrete elements. We are talking about the slabs. Okay, and here we'll see not just those cases that failed but also those that are verified. So here just some general data, the same situation that we saw before with the configuration, the data per floor, and then we can see the check report. For example, starting with the reinforced concrete elements, the panels that are the slabs, L1, 4, 5, they are the slabs, they verified, okay, for 60 minutes. Then we see here the same results that we saw in the past report. So the columns for 60 minutes without coating, they are not enough. We'll see here for the level 1, okay. Then here also for the level 1, we see that the beams with 60 minutes using that intumescent paint that we selected, they verify it in this case, okay. So here we see the red color, here just no color, and here we can see this difference, okay. With that material, it was enough to resist during 60 minutes, okay. We can also see some data that are very interesting here, like the critical temperature that we can see here for each one of the bars of the project, okay, going from 715 to 1141, for example, okay. And also the shape factor, okay. Here we can see the shape factor. That could be interesting if you need to select a material. You can use this information to go to a catalog from the manufacturer using this data to try to find the best solution before you introduce it to the software and analyze it, okay. Probably here we see the same situation to other beams of the project, and then probably to the other levels. Here level 2, the same situation, okay. But this report will tell you everything that is related to the fire resistance of your project, okay. So that's it. It's quite easy to activate the fire resistance check here at CYPECAD. Just remember to activate it in the beginning of the project by using this option. Remember that it's gonna be the parameters, they could change a little bit according to the codes that you select, and remember that you can set the required timing here, okay. If you don't wanna check this, you can also if you don't put these numbers here, the software will not check, because there is no parameter to compare, okay. So remember to define here the minimum time that you wanna check before you analyze the structure, okay. So from CYPECAD, the 3 main features that I mentioned before, they were covered, but I would like just to show to you this list. I will copy and paste to your chat. There are other improvements and corrections that were introduced at CYPECAD in this version. There is a list with almost 40 different changes. Some small changes, maybe some enhancements. There are some options that are little problems that we find in the past version, and we just improve it. Some of these options are suggestions that we received from you on your feedbacks when you contact us with our technical support team, or even using our social media. So I think this is a nice list to share with you. So I'll copy this information, I will share in the chat, and then if you wanna see, and maybe one of your wishes that if you are an active user of our software that always send to us your feedback, it's possible that one of your wishes is in this list. So I invite you to take a look here, because unfortunately we cannot see one by one all these points because there is a lot of changes here, okay. I think that from this point we can finish this part of CYPECAD, okay.